What first reads as a cautionary tale against going to LA to chase your dreams, the production of this song and vocal lamenting key us into the idea that ambition is often something that can't simply be warned against. The unknown and the vision of what might exist just on the other side of sacrifice is what drives ambitious people forward. Adele herself is a great example of what can go right when you take that chance. And so, this song can't function to warn people away from chasing stardom. Looking a bit past the surface and with a meaningful twist of irony, it's sort of a melancholic acceptance that people with the same drive she has will eventually run away. There's actually not much that can be done to stop that, as some ambitions have to be lived through before they can be understood. Ain't in LA, the final pre-release single by Adele leading up to her debut album Prima, adds a third dimension to the project's premise. It reframes everything we've heard from her so far, outlining that Prima is a project deeply interested in discussing what the pursuit of success asks of the people chasing it, but also importantly, when it comes to this new single, observing all of that without ever regretting the chase itself. Sung from the perspective of someone who left home to pursue pop stardom in Los Angeles, Ain't in LA reflects on the mythology surrounding the city after having lived through it. Positioned as the album's closing track opposite to the opener KGB, it gives a pretty complicated answer to the question that begins this album. What is success actually worth? Sonically, the track blends elements of synthpop with hip-hop interludes, drafting an airy dreamscape that's briefly interrupted by a dimmed rap vocal style that brings us much closer to the ground. As I said, Adele kind of laments in the choruses. It registers as something incredibly sad. You might infer that she regrets having left everything behind. I think some of that exists here, but it's more complicated than that. There's a much larger grievance for the people who are still chasing their dreams, the you she's speaking to in this song. Adele doesn't and really can't condemn the act of moving to LA, nor what that represents, either physically or metaphorically. She herself lived it, she conquered it, and even by the end, still fiercely loves the pop culture that inspired her to leave in the first place. This really can't be a story of regret. To me, the song thrives on a deeper, brilliant writer's realization. Adele, more than anyone, knows very well that she can't stop people who possess the same burning ambition she has. No amount of warning advice ever slows down a true dreamer. Understanding this, she shifts to encourage listeners to simply enjoy the ride. Quote, "You're taught that your dreams don't live at home. Maybe tonight we don't gotta run away. It's all a lie. The baddest people ain't in LA." Feeling past the surface here, the lyrics don't really work to dismiss the dream. It acknowledges that while the Hollywood illusion won't live up to reality, your experiences before the quote lie of LA are what truly prepare you for the fight. The song's sullen disposition carries the idea that so many people are going to get their hearts broken. This perspective does a lot to transform the album's opener, KGB. As the opening narrative for the album, Adele presents herself as someone studying Western pop culture from afar, captivated by its glamour and determined to achieve that for herself, if nothing else but out of spite for the people who don't believe in her. By the album's conclusion, Ain't in LA, she's looking back with first-hand experience. The fantasy is still fully there, but it is so beautifully grounded. The music video visually reinforces this reclamation of the self. In my favorite shot, Adele dances alongside kids wearing traditional Slavic clothing after returning to Bratislava. Her vibrant pink hair against the traditional garments creates a stunning sense of irony. Good irony, right? Highlighting that the unique star power LA demanded of her had already taken shape during her youth in Slovakia. Even as she returns home, she still holds tight to the pieces of pop culture that raised her. References to Beyoncé's Pretty Hurts and Formation prove her pop music reverence remains intact despite all she's done and learned. Even the song itself, its slight favoring towards We Can't Stop by Miley Cyrus, all of it adds together to paint an incredibly complex understanding of the self. This, to me, is the core of why Ain't in LA is so heartbreaking. LA is all a lie, but for Adele's story, it is the necessary evil that had to happen in order for her to get what she wanted. The call in this song to enjoy the ride reads to me as Adele kind of acknowledging it as a canon event, regardless of the many warnings, right? This song then becomes a manifesto that the ride before getting to LA is what will make or break you. The song ends with what appears to be a bunch of younger people singing along with her, outlining one more time that maybe we don't have to leave. Yet, I think it's that maybe that does a lot of heavy storytelling. Giving away the album's final destination might seem a bit counterintuitive, but it really strengthens the concept. I mean, Ain't in LA literally argues that the destination shouldn't be the point, so giving away the last song on the album makes perfect sense, placing greater emphasis and intrigue on everything that happens in between. Based on these three singles alone, Prima feels notably cohesive already. These are pre-release singles done right. They're strong enough to tell a story on their own, and importantly, when consumed together, they support a single idea. Adele has demonstrated a crystal clear artistic vision, tying the album together with an ending that looks back to celebrate the person she became before the world knew who she was. I can't help but stan. I'm such a fan of her ambition and drive to become who she wants to be. It is infused into the music she's releasing. So incredibly excited to hear the journey between KGB and the album's closing moments, as well as Adele's own perspective on pop music, what she loves about it, and the vision she has for it. Yeah, these are my thoughts generally on the lead up to the upcoming album. Thank you for watching this. If you did, let me know what you think about Ain't in LA, the other two singles, expectations for the album, and things like that. Thanks again for watching. Subscribe if you want to, and I will see you next time.